If you're a real estate agent and the market right now just feels weird, a little off, well, you're not imagining things and you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to cut right through all that noise and build a super clear, actionable playbook to help you absolutely crush it in this market.
So, let's just kick things off with a punch to the gut, shall we? This is from national coach Chad Hyams, and he says, "The only reason business is down is because of you. It's not the market." Whoa. Now, what he's really saying is that your success, it isn't a victim of the market's ups and downs. It's a direct result of your strategy and your actions.
So here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll name the challenge everyone's feeling. Then, we'll zoom out and look at the big economic picture. After that, we'll bring it right back down to street-level strategy. And finally, we'll talk about the mindset that makes it all click.
All right, first up, let's get real about the core challenge you're facing out there. It really all boils down to one thing: managing expectations in a market that has totally changed its tune.
This is where the friction is, right? Your sellers, they've got this hangover from the crazy market where you could list a shoebox for $1 million and get 20 offers. But now, they're facing a reality that's, well, a lot more balanced. And that clash between their memory and today's reality, that's where all the frustration is coming from.
Now, to navigate this conversation with your clients, you have to understand the why behind it all. You've got to know what's happening on the macro level. And I promise, this isn't some boring economics lecture. This is the secret weapon to sounding like the expert you are.
And really, the whole thing kind of hangs on this one giant question. What in the world is the Federal Reserve going to do next? Their next move on interest rates is the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and everyone is waiting to see what happens.
So, here's the pickle they're in. They're being pulled in two completely opposite directions. On one side, you've got inflation going up, which tells them, hike the rates, cool things down. But on the other side, unemployment is starting to creep up, which screams, drop the rates, help people get jobs. So, which way do they go?
Well, here's a really fascinating insight from Gary Keller. He points out that a lot of the inflation we're seeing is what he calls artificial. It's not just the economy organically overheating. A huge chunk of it is actually being caused by government tariffs on stuff we import. And guess who pays for that? We do.
And this, my friends, is the key that unlocks the whole puzzle. History shows us that when the Fed has to choose between fighting this specific kind of tariff-driven inflation and fighting unemployment, they choose to protect jobs, almost every single time. And that points in one clear direction: rate drops are likely on the horizon.
Okay, that's the big picture economy lesson. But what does that actually mean for you today, like on your next listing appointment? Let's translate this forecast into a real on-the-ground strategy you can use right now.
First things first, we need to get this number tattooed on our brains, 4%. This is the long-term historical average for home price appreciation. This is the heartbeat of a normal, healthy, sustainable market. It's our North Star.
So where are we today? 8.5%. Yeah, it's down a little from last year, but do the math. That's still more than double the healthy historical average. This is not a crash. This is not a bubble popping. This is the market coming back to a really strong, stable place.
And you can see this stabilization so clearly when you zoom in on a local market. Check out Atlanta. Year over year, the median price in the entire metro area changed by, wait for it, -$10. I mean, come on, you can't even buy lunch for that. This is the literal definition of a flat, stabilizing market. And this is the crucial mindset shift you have to make and help your clients make. As broker Andrea Wright says, this is not a bad thing. A frantic, unsustainable market is exciting, sure, but a stable market is healthy. It's exactly what we needed.
So what does this mean for your sellers? It means the game has changed. The fundamentals are back, and they are everything. In this market, a home that is priced right, staged to perfection, and in great shape, it's not sitting around. It's still getting multiple offers and flying off the market.
And listen, this focus on fundamentals is not just about the house, it's about your entire team. We heard this absolutely terrifying story from an agent about an unvetted moving company. You try to save a buck, and suddenly your client is on the hook for property damage, worker injuries, even personal safety risks. Your professionalism is your value, now more than ever.
Okay, so we've talked economy, we've talked strategy. Let's get to the final piece of the puzzle, the one thing that actually determines whether any of this works. And that, of course, is you. It's your mindset and, more importantly, your actions.
Coach Chad Hyams just says it so perfectly. He tells agents who are stuck, stop planning. We're going to focus on producing.
So many of us get trapped in analysis paralysis, taking another class, making another spreadsheet, when we just need to go do the thing.
You know, he breaks it down into two simple paths. There's the inbound path, that's your marketing, your billboards, your postcards, where you're basically just sitting there, fingers crossed, hoping someone calls. And then there's the outbound path, making calls, knocking on doors, where you are actively hunting for the business.
And he doesn't pull any punches on this. If your entire business model is just waiting for people to find you, you don't have a business plan, you have a wish. A real business is built on proactively, relentlessly seeking out the people you can help.
Think about it with simple math. If last year it took 10 phone calls to find a client, but this year's tougher market takes 30 calls, you can't just keep making 10 calls and then complain that business is down. You have to change your activity level to match the new reality. Doing anything else is, well, you know what they say about insanity.
So what's the solution? What's the one word that should be on a sticky note on your computer all year long? It's this: implementation. It's all about closing that gap between knowing what you're supposed to do and actually consistently day in and day out doing it.
So, let's wrap it all up. Here's your playbook for this market. Number 1, understand the economy so you can be the expert. 2, preach stabilization, not a crash. 3, get back to basics and master your pricing and presentation. 4, shift from waiting for business to hunting for business. And number 5, the one that matters most, implement.
Because at the end of the day, all the knowledge in the world is just potential. It's totally useless until you act on it. So that leaves just one final question. Not for me, but for you to answer for yourself. What is the one action you've been planning that you will finally actually implement this week?